This is Steve from Boxing UK. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Callum the One. Johnson, how are you, Callum?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you've just gone off very well, mate.
No, I'm back.
Thanks for your time. It's late on Monday.
No worries.
Just for the audience, because we've just had a bit of a catch-up, how have you been the last year?
Well, it's been, it's been strange, hasn't it? It's not been great. Obviously last year I was training and everything else, keeping myself ready, but nothing happened. And, it's been well documented, there's been like things happening and not things happening and things like that. But, I've just tried to keep positive and keep myself in the gym, keep active in the gym. I've been sparring. I've always been lean throughout the year, and so I've kept myself ready to go. And as soon as I do get that call and something does come up, I'll be ready to go. And I'm pretty sure something will come up soon enough.
So when you keep ticking over, Callum, how far would you say you're away from being fight ready? If say the call came tomorrow.
I'd be ready in 3 or 4 weeks if the call came tomorrow. But to be fair, last year I was ready. If the call had came on the Thursday, I'd have been ready on the Saturday. Right. That's how ready I was last year, all year. But I had I actually caught COVID back end of last year, and then I had a few other issues. So I had 4 or 5 weeks out of the gym, and I started sort of getting myself back into shape. 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I am 3 or 4 weeks away from being fit, to be honest, right now. But yeah, last year I would have been ready the next day.
Do you feel like you've missed out on anything, Callum? Because obviously there was the whole bubble and the Wembley place. Do you feel like you missed out on any of that? Were you ever close?
Yeah, I suppose I do feel like I missed out a little bit, but not so much like missing out on being in the bubble and things like that. I mean, just missing out on boxing in general. But I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that's missed out last year, and it's something that you have to deal with it. It is what it is, and there's no point in dwelling on something that you can't change. So, my thoughts are, and my mindset is, just get yourself fit again, get yourself ready again, and just live your life like you did last year. And I'm sure something will come because, it's got to do. It's got to do.
How frustrating is it though, Callum? Because you had a good win against a decent opponent. Was it March last year?
It was 2019.
Was it really? Blimey.
Yeah, it was 2019. Yes, Monaghan.
Monaghan, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, like I say, he was a world ranked opponent, a top contender in America, and it was being billed as a 50-50 fight, and supposedly going to be a real test for me. And I went over there, and I did the job in flying colours, and I kind of stole the show. So, and then nothing happened again. Then I got injured, so that put me out for a few months. But again, it's just going over old ground. It was all this ifs, buts, shouldas, wouldas, and couldas, and the facts are, it can't be changed, and it is what it is. Just keep myself in the gym, keep myself ready, and luckily I am fresh. And although, like I say, I'm 35, but I've not had many fights. I've not had an hard career. I've had one hard fight, and I've got loads of miles left in the clock, so I'm happy.
I was going to ask that, Callum. Obviously, with you being 35, in a strange way, does the lack of activity help you in regarding to when you do actually press go again on the career? Like you've probably got longer left than most.
Yeah, I think so, because obviously it's a negative. I don't want to try and get away from the fact that it's not, because it is. But at the same time, it can be a positive, and I do think it is a positive, because the thing is with me, although I've been inactive in the ring, I've not been inactive in the gym. I've been training, I've been sparring, I've been conditioning my body. And last year I was fitter than I've ever been in my life. Not like my time suggests that. The times I was getting on my runs, the times I was getting on my bike, the weights I was lifting, the numbers I was getting was better than ever. So, there's no sign of me declining, not yet anyway.
Good man. Are you aware, Callum? I'm trying to talk from a fan's point of view now. So obviously we get announcement after announcement and Matchroom release their ream of fights. And as the fights get announced more and more, your name gets cropped up as not appearing. I don't know if you're aware of that. And it's
I mean, it's like you say, I've been out of the ring now over 18 months and I didn't fight all last year. But it seems that in the time I've been out of the ring, my profile's actually risen. And there's more people speaking about me and there's more people that want to see me. And that's a good thing. It'd be bad if, I'd been out of the ring for 18 months, nobody was speaking about me, nobody wanted to see me, then I would be in a bad place. But the facts are that I'm not in that much of a bad position because everybody do want to see me and everybody's always talking about me. But then at the same time, that's all very well and good, but it's no good if you're not getting any fights, is it? But like you say, all I'm concentrating on at the minute, over the next month is getting myself fight ready again, and then, it'll be time to look for some fights.
Good man. I watched the Buglioni fight again last night, coincidentally, and not just the way that you dispatched him. It was at 90 seconds.
Yeah, it was not 91. It was 91. So they tell me.
Yeah, I think who else was it there? I think Mike Tyson got rid of Spinks in 91 seconds as well, Callum. So you're in good company there.
It's not one for a world title, though, was it?
No.
It wasn't for a world title, and I didn't get paid as much as Mike Tyson got paid either.
I bet you didn't. But it was interesting watching the Sky pundits afterwards, and they were all waxing lyrical about how you're on the verge of world honours and, the world's your oyster. And it's been stop-start. How frustrating is that? Because that win propelled you, didn't it?
Yeah, it's been, to be honest, my career has been very, very stop-start from day one. And it's been a very frustrating career. Why has it gone the way it's gone? I don't know. Maybe, some of it's my fault. Maybe, I don't really think it is, if I'm honest, but I've got to have some blame somewhere. But I don't know. It's just one of them things. Sometimes I think in life, things don't go smoothly for some people for whatever reason. And that just seems to be the case with me. You can look from the outside and think I've had a great career. I won a numerous amount of medals internationally. I won the Commonwealth Games. I won a British and Commonwealth title as a professional. I fought for a world title. So if it all ended today, you could say, oh, he did well. He had a good career. But, when I look at the talent that I've got and how good I am, it wouldn't be a great career. It'd be a very underachieving career for me. So this is what drives me on, and this is what still pushes me, and this is what still gives me that fire inside to keep doing what I'm doing day in, day out, because I know I've got so much more to give and I've got so much more potential to show and achieve things that, I can be a world champion. I really believe that. The people around me believe that. And that's not just believing that from what they saw 3, 4, 5 years ago. That's from what they were seeing 6 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, before I got COVID. You know what I mean? So I'll just get myself back to there, which I'm on the way now. And, I believe I can be a world champion. I just need that opportunity. Obviously, I'm going to have to get back in for what kind of fight it'll be. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to get a world title shot, am I? But I need to get back in the mix, whether it be against, the likes of Anthony Yard, Lyndon, Arthur, Buatsi, whoever it might be. But I need to get back in the mix and prove myself and get that shot again.
Would you be looking at getting straight in at the higher end of the domestic level, Callum?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, in an ideal world, I would like a good fight beforehand. But if it come up first and it made sense and it was a sensible offer, then I would jump straight off, no problem. But yeah, ideally I would like a tough fight, to get some good rounds and get that little bit of ring rust off if there's going to be any. you know, and just shake a little bit off and then go then. So we'll see.
Obviously, one of the questions you'll probably get asked time and time again is the Viterbia fight. I think that's, apart from the Buglioni fight, that's the fight you're most remembered for. Just, you say that you know you've got a world title in you. Just how close were you at that fight, Callum, to doing it?
Yeah,
did you know at the time, when you dropped him, did you know that you were potentially seconds from getting him?
I probably didn't. I probably didn't know. To be honest with you, that fight it's like a big cloud. I mean, I can't really remember too much about the fight from the first round. I mean, he knocked me into next week in the first round, and you know, I can't really remember too much after that. But yeah, I mean, if I all I can say is, if I got the chance to live that second round again, I don't think he'd have seen the bell. But, you know, experience, it was an experience. I learnt a lot from it. And, you know, fair play to him, because obviously he's very, very good. And he, you know, he survived the round. He changed his tactics and he did what he needed to do. But I do feel as though if I was at that opportunity again and was in that same position and he was as hurt as he was, you know, I think I might have finished him. But, you know, on that night, I never had the experience to do it. You know, I don't know.
Have you watched it back?
I have watched it back. Yeah, I didn't watch it back for about a year. I didn't watch it back for about a year, and then I watched it back one night, and you know, it was a good fight, wasn't it? It was a bit of a life and death free for all.
He was in a bad way when he got up off the knockdown, though, wasn't he, Callum?
Yeah, he was. He was all over. He fell into the ropes, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can't live off a good fight or a good performance or knocking him down. I mean, I can't live off that. You know, I've not. You know, at the end of the day, I got beat and I got stopped myself. So, but again, I did learn a lot from it, and obviously, in my next fight after that, you know, I sort of shown that, and I put in a real good performance, probably a career best performance. But it's a shame that I never got to build on that again, you know. But I do feel as though if I get a fight, I only need one fight. I just need one fight, and I'll be back to that form.
Yeah, one of the reasons I brought that up, Callum, was obviously, again, that was another fight that propelled you. But at the time, there was a lot of talk of you and Yard and you and Buatsi. Do you think that fight did you damage in the sense that a lot of people describe you as one of the most avoided fighters in the UK, don't you?
Yeah, possibly. That could be a thing, you know, because as it stands now, I suppose I'm in that who needs him club. Yeah. Because what have I got to offer anybody, really, other than a good hiding?
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got to offer. If they beat me, they gain nothing. And, you know, it's a very hard task. It's a very hard task to beat me. And I don't think there's anybody in Britain that can do it, I'll be honest. And I think deep down, you know, the promoters and the managers, and I think they know it themselves as well. I won't say the fighters know it, because every fighter thinks they can beat every other fighter. You know, that any fighter will fight anybody, and they'll always believe they can win. So I don't think the fighters think that, but I think deep down the managers and the team involved don't believe that. You know, that they don't want to be any part of me.
Can I chuck another couple of reasons at you, Callum?
Go on.
Speculation why you haven't gotten a fight or why you haven't been part of an announcement. Joe Gallagher. A lot of people say you're never going to get an offer because Eddie and Joe don't get on. How much credibility do you give that?
It's nonsense, because at the end of the day, you know, Callum Smith fought not long ago. You know, Joe Gallagher's Callum Smith's coach. Or Joe relays things to me, you know, regarding of offers and things like that. And at the end of the day, it's down to me whether if I'm happy with the offer or not Joe. It's not Joe's fault that I didn't like the offer I was offered and I declined it. But now, you know, people speculate and people say things, and like you say, it's good that everyone talks, but, you know, a lot of the time they don't really know the ins and outs or the facts, and they just go on what they think a lot of the time. and 9 times out of 10, it's so far from the facts. It's miles away.
Indeed. You've touched on the other one as well. I think I saw Eddie say somewhere that you'd been made an offer and that he was waiting for a reply, which was sort of intimating that it was your own fault why you haven't had a fight yet.
Yeah, like you say, I mean, I don't want to speak too much about it because it's something that, you can come across the wrong way sometimes on camera. But, I did reply to the offer, and we never got a reply. And that's pretty much, that's it. That's the bottom line.
So before we move on, Callum, whose court is the ball in? Is it for you to ask a fight of Eddie, or is it for Eddie to come to you with another offer? How does it work?
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I'm not really thinking too much about it. As I say, right at this minute in time, all I'm concentrating on is getting myself fit again. Because right now, I'm not ready to fight. I'm not ready to fight right at this second. And I don't want to be out there saying, I want to fight, I want this, I want that, in case I come up with the fight in 2 weeks. And I'd say, well, I'm not ready. So as soon as I'm ready to go, I'll be... obviously speaking and having a look, so. Good
man, but the ambition still burns.
Yeah, it burns brighter than ever, because at the end of the day, I've not done what every goal I've ever set myself in boxing, I've always achieved. From being a 16-year-old kid, I've always failed along the way. I've been beat and I've failed on certain tasks, but I've always got there in the end, and we ain't got there yet, and I still believe I can get there, and my training and everything that I do in the gym still shows me that I can still get there. So it's not like I'm in the gym and I haven't got it anymore. And Joe Gallagher, he's a realist. He says it how it is. He doesn't wrap you up in cotton wool, and he doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He'll tell you how he sees it. Yeah. And I'm sure Joe would tell me, if I wasn't showing signs, that I could still do it. So,
good man. So with that in mind, if you could pick the perfect, the next 18 months, Callum, what would you have? How many fights? Who would you like to face?
Months. Perfect 18 months would be, 4 fights and a couple of big British fights, whether it be Arthur, whether it be Yard, whether it be Buatsi, and a world title fight at the back end of it. But, we don't live in a perfect world, do we? But we'll see what happens. All my focus is now is getting fit and actually getting back in the ring. Wherever it might be against, whether it's a Romanian taxi driver, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? I just want to get them gloves back on and have a proper fight where it means something.
Good man. So that's what you would want. Your gut instinct, Callum, what do you think will actually happen? When do you think fans can expect you out?
In the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe. Again, it depends, doesn't it? Because I'll be ready to go in 4 weeks. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can really say. Whatever happens from then is out of my hands a little bit.
Last question. Just something that broke recently in your division. Kovalev and his failed drugs test. Just your thoughts on that? Because that would be a name that people might have chucked at you.
Yeah, people do mention it. I've mentioned it a few times, and that's something that I'd have loved to have got that because he's a massive name, and I do think that he is over the hill. I do think he is way past his best. So I'd see that as a I won't say an easy win, but a win where I could, get that big name, but you're not really beating that big name at the same time. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean the drug testing thing. It's not. I don't really like commenting on these things because there's so many different things that it could be. You hear about people failing drug tests, and it's through, you hear about people failing drug tests through pre-workouts or something they bought over the shelf, and genuinely are like accidents. But it's synthetic testosterone. I mean, if it's wrong. It's wrong at the end of the day. If you're taking drugs in boxing, you know, to gain an advantage. It's wrong in all sports, but it's even more wrong in boxing because you're fighting and you can potentially hurt someone. But Kovalev, what Kovalev does with his life, his career, it don't really interest me, like, to be honest.
Fair enough, mate. Last one. Callum Smith, obviously had the Canelo fight, and the rumours are that he's going to move up into your division. Just your quick thoughts on that one? Well,
I think, like you say, I don't know whether he will or he won't, but I mean, he's very tall. He's very tall for super middleweight. It must kill him to make it. And like you say, he's done everything at super middleweight. You know, he became the best. You know, he got beat by Canelo, but, you know, there's no shame in that, is there? So, you know, why not? If he's got the ambition and he's got the desire to continue, because, you know, obviously he's earned a lot of money and he's been a world champion, and, you know, there's nothing left for him to do in the super middleweight division. So if he's still got that ambition to continue, then why not? Why not go up to 175 and have a crack there?
Callum, been a joy. I think
no worries, mate.
I speak on behalf of most fans with, you know, everything that you've been through and what have you. It will be great to see you back, genuinely. At least,
thank you.
At the very least, in some domestic fights, because there's some crackers out there, but another world title fight would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, defo. But like you say, that I've got to work my way back to that, haven't I? So.
Good man. Callum Johnson, it's been a pleasure.
No, thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Thanks for your time, Callum. Take care.
Cheers, mate.